Nestled between the eastern coast of the Asian continent and the Japanese archipelago lies a significant body of water known by many names. To some, it is the Sea of Japan, while others call it the East Sea. This body of water holds immense ecological, economic, and cultural significance for the countries that border it. It is a cradle of biodiversity, a vital shipping route, and a source of sustenance and livelihood for millions. Its depths hide secrets of ancient civilizations and lost empires, while its surface reflects modern-day realities of territorial disputes and resource competition. This is a story of exploration and trade, of conflict and cooperation, of cultural exchange and enduring legacies. The Sea of Japan, a seemingly serene expanse of water, holds within its depths a surprisingly dramatic topography. The seabed is a landscape of underwater plateaus, deep basins, and towering underwater mountain ranges, remnants of ancient geological upheavals. The average depth of this sea is a significant 1,752 meters, plunging to a maximum depth of 3,742 meters in the Yamato Basin. The seabed topography plays a crucial role in influencing the circulation of water masses, nutrient distribution, and the distribution of marine life. Understanding the seabed topography is essential for a multitude of reasons, including earthquake and tsunami risks in this seismically active region. Furthermore, the seabed holds clues to the Earth's geological past, allowing scientists to piece together the history of continental drift and the formation of ocean basins. The Sea of Japan is a semi-enclosed sea, almost completely encircled by landmasses. To the west lies the Korean peninsula and the Russian Far East. To the east, the islands of Japan, and to the north, the island of Sakhalin. The limited exchange of water with the open ocean through narrow straits results in unique oceanographic conditions. These narrow passages act as gateways, regulating the flow of water, nutrients, and marine life in and out of the sea. The restricted water exchange makes the Sea of Japan particularly vulnerable to pollution and environmental changes. Despite its semi-enclosed nature, the Sea of Japan teems with life, a testament to the richness and resilience of marine ecosystems. Over 3,500 marine species call this sea home, reflecting a wide range of habitats and ecological niches. The mixing of warm and cold currents, coupled with nutrient-rich waters from surrounding rivers, creates an ideal environment for plankton growth, forming the base of the marine food web. This abundance of plankton supports a diverse array of fish species, including commercially important ones like pollock, mackerel, and squid. Whales, dolphins, and porpoises frequent these waters, drawn by the abundance of prey and suitable breeding grounds. From surface to depths, a tapestry of ecosystems. The Sea of Japan is a mosaic of diverse ecosystems, each with its own unique characteristics and inhabitants. The surface waters, bathed in sunlight, are home to phytoplankton, the primary producers of the ocean. The shallow coastal areas with their rocky reefs, kelp forests, and sandy bottoms provide shelter, breeding grounds, and feeding areas for a multitude of species. The deep sea, shrouded in perpetual darkness, is a realm of strange and wonderful creatures, adapted to the extreme pressure, cold temperatures, and lack of sunlight. Giants of the deep, notable inhabitants of the Sea of Japan is home to a fascinating array of marine creatures, some iconic, others less known, but all contributing to the ecological richness of this unique body of water. Among its most notable inhabitants are the North Pacific right whale, one of the most endangered whale species in the world, and the humpback whale, known for its acrobatic displays and haunting songs. The waters also teem with smaller cetaceans, including several species of dolphins and porpoises. These highly intelligent and social animals rely on the Sea of Japan's rich fish stocks for their survival. A delicate balance, threats to a precious ecosystem. The Sea of Japan faces a growing number of threats, many stemming from human activities. Pollution from industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and coastal development poses a significant risk to water quality, marine life, and human health. Overfishing, driven by increasing demand and often employing unsustainable practices, threatens fish stocks and the delicate balance of the marine ecosystem. Climate change adds another layer of complexity, with rising sea temperatures, ocean acidification, and changes in ocean currents impacting marine life and habitats. The Sea of Japan, often perceived as a barrier separating nations, has served as a bridge for much of human history. Long before modern cartography and political boundaries, the sea was a conduit for cultural exchange, migration, and trade. Archaeological evidence points to human presence in the region dating back tens of thousands of years, with coastal communities relying on the sea for sustenance and transportation. Waves of migration from the Korean peninsula and mainland Asia brought new cultures, technologies, and languages to the Japanese archipelago, shaping the development of Japanese civilization. The exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies along these maritime and riverine networks fostered economic development and cultural diffusion. For millennia, the Sea of Japan has shaped the lives and livelihoods of coastal communities, its rhythms woven into the fabric of their cultures. From the fishing villages dotting the Japanese coast to the bustling port cities of Korea and Russia, life revolves around the sea, a source of sustenance, economic opportunity, and cultural identity. The sea's bounty has sustained generations, providing a rich source of protein and shaping culinary traditions that endure to this day. The Sea of Japan's influence extends beyond the material realm, permeating the spiritual beliefs and artistic expressions of coastal cultures. The sea, often revered as a powerful deity, features prominently in mythology, folklore, and religious practices. The Sea of Japan, a conduit for cultural exchange and trade for much of its history, has also been a theater of conflict and competition. The sea's strategic importance, connecting major powers in East Asia, has made it a focal point for naval battles, invasions, and geopolitical rivalries. From ancient times to the 20th century, the sea has witnessed periods of intense conflict, leaving an indelible mark on the collective memory of nations. Despite the conflicts, the Sea of Japan has also served as a catalyst for peace and cooperation. Periods of relative stability fostered trade and diplomatic relations between neighboring nations, leading to the exchange of ideas, technologies, and cultural practices. Maritime trade lifeblood of nations. The Sea of Japan has long been a vital artery for maritime trade, connecting the economies of East Asia and facilitating the flow of goods, raw materials, and finished products. From ancient times to the modern era of container ships and globalized commerce, the sea has played a pivotal role in the economic development of the region. The Sea of Japan's ports, strategically located along major shipping lanes, serve as gateways to global markets. As economic activity in Asia continues to expand, so too will the demand for shipping and logistics services. A sea of contention, territorial disputes, and historical grievances. The Sea of Japan, despite its seemingly tranquil expanse, is a region fraught with geopolitical complexities. Long-standing territorial disputes, rooted in history and fueled by national pride, cast a shadow over the region, hindering cooperation and posing a constant threat to stability. At the heart of these disputes lie competing claims over islands, maritime boundaries, and access to resources. The Liancourt Rocks, known as Dokdo in Korea and Takashima in Japan, are a group of small islets claimed by both countries. The division of the Korean peninsula adds another layer of complexity to the geopolitical landscape of the Sea of Japan. Section 2. The naming dispute. A microcosm of regional tensions. The very name used to refer to this body of water is a point of contention, reflecting the deep-seated historical grievances and power dynamics that shape the geopolitical landscape of East Asia. While the Sea of Japan is the internationally recognized name, South Korea refers to it as the East Sea, arguing that this name predates Japanese dominance in the region and better reflects the sea's geographical location. The dispute over the sea's name extends beyond semantics, encompassing issues of historical revisionism, national identity, and the struggle for recognition on the global stage. South Korea views Japan's insistence on the Sea of Japan as a legacy of its colonial past, a reminder of a time when Korean culture and history were suppressed. Japan, on the other hand, argues that the Sea of Japan has been the established name for centuries, recognized internationally, and changing it would be historically inaccurate. The naming dispute, though seemingly symbolic, has real-world consequences. It hinders cooperation on issues of shared interest, such as fisheries management, environmental protection, and maritime safety. The lack of a common understanding on even the most basic of identifiers underscores the deep mistrust and historical baggage that continue to plague relations between South Korea and Japan. Section 3. Resources at stake, economic interests and maritime boundaries. The Sea of Japan, beyond its geopolitical significance, is also an area of considerable economic importance, further complicating relations between the surrounding nations. The sea's rich fishing grounds, particularly its abundant stocks of squid, mackerel and sori, are a vital source of livelihood for fishermen in Japan, South Korea, and Russia. The competition for these resources, often exacerbated by overfishing and illegal fishing practices, has led to tensions and disputes over fishing quotas and maritime boundaries. The discovery of potential oil and gas reserves in the seabed of the Sea of Japan adds another layer of complexity to the equation. While the extent of these reserves remains uncertain, their potential exploitation raises the stakes for all countries bordering the sea. The delimitation of maritime boundaries, crucial for determining exclusive economic zones and access to undersea resources, becomes even more contentious in this context, with the potential for disputes over overlapping claims and resource nationalism. Beyond fishing and energy resources, the Sea of Japan is also a vital shipping lane, connecting East Asia to the rest of the world. The straits connecting the Sea of Japan to the Pacific Ocean, particularly the Tsugaru Strait and the Korea Strait, are strategically important choke points, essential for trade and naval navigation. The presence of military vessels from various countries operating in these confined waters, often conducting exercises or monitoring the activities of other nations, adds to the geopolitical complexities of the region. Section 4. Navigating the future. Cooperation and the quest for stability. The Sea of Japan, despite the myriad challenges it poses, also presents opportunities for cooperation and confidence-building measures. Recognizing the interconnectedness of their economies, environments, and security interests, the nations bordering the sea have a shared stake in promoting stability and finding common ground. Addressing the underlying historical grievances and territorial disputes, however daunting, is crucial for fostering a more cooperative and sustainable future for the region. One area where cooperation is essential and indeed possible is fisheries management. The Sea of Japan's fish stocks, though abundant, are not inexhaustible. Overfishing, driven by increasing demand and often employing unsustainable practices, poses a threat to the long-term health of the marine ecosystem and the livelihoods of those who depend on it. Establishing multilateral agreements on fishing quotas based on scientific data and a commitment to sustainability is crucial for ensuring the long-term viability of this vital resource. Joint efforts to address environmental challenges, such as marine pollution and the impacts of climate change, offer another avenue for cooperation. The Sea of Japan, as a semi-enclosed sea, is particularly vulnerable to pollution from land-based sources, such as industrial discharge, agricultural runoff, and plastic waste. Collaborative initiatives to reduce pollution, promote sustainable fishing practices, and conserve marine biodiversity can serve as building blocks for trust and cooperation, laying the foundation for a more peaceful and prosperous future for the Sea of Japan and its surrounding nations. Section 1. A Sea in Peril. Pollution's toll on a shared resource. The Sea of Japan, once teeming with life, now faces severe pollution from human activities. Pollution threatens marine life, human health, and the economy of coastal communities. A collective effort from all bordering nations is essential to address these issues. Marine pollution, with multiple sources, has far-reaching consequences. Industrial discharge contaminates marine habitats and the food chain. Agricultural runoff leads to nutrient imbalances and oxygen depletion. These pollutants harm marine life and pose risks to human health. The Sea of Japan's semi-enclosed nature exacerbates pollution. Limited water exchange means pollutants accumulate rather than disperse. This makes the Sea of Japan particularly vulnerable to long-lasting pollution impacts. Section 2. Troubled Waters. Industrial discharge and agricultural runoff. Industrial discharge and agricultural runoff are major contributors to marine pollution in the Sea of Japan. Factories and farms release pollutants contaminating marine habitats and posing risks to human health. Heavy metals and pesticides accumulate in marine organisms, affecting the food chain. Exposure to these pollutants can lead to serious health problems. Addressing this issue requires stricter regulations and sustainable practices. Governments and industries must work together to protect our waters. Section 3. The Plastic Plague, a visible scourge with hidden consequences. Plastic pollution plagues the Sea of Japan, with single-use plastics like bags, bottles, and fishing nets entering the sea. This debris entangles marine life and is ingested by sea turtles, seabirds, and fish. It accumulates in gyres, forming vast garbage patches. Addressing this requires reducing plastic use, reusing products, and recycling waste. Governments, businesses, and consumers must all take action. Section 4. Climate change, a looming threat to a fragile ecosystem. Climate change poses a significant threat to the Sea of Japan, exacerbating environmental problems and introducing new challenges for marine life and coastal communities. Rising sea temperatures, ocean acidification, and changes in ocean currents are already impacting the Sea of Japan's ecosystem. Warmer waters hold less oxygen, making it difficult for marine organisms to breathe. Rising temperatures cause coral bleaching, making corals more susceptible to disease and death. Ocean acidification, from increased carbon dioxide, makes it harder for marine organisms to build shells and skeletons. The decline of these organisms could have cascading effects throughout the ecosystem. Section 1. A Sea of Importance, a future of shared responsibility. The Sea of Japan, a body of water steeped in history, teeming with life, and vital to the economic prosperity of millions, stands at a crossroads. Bound by land and shaped by the interplay of nature and human activity, this sea reflects both the promise and peril of our interconnected world. Its rich biodiversity, a testament to the resilience of nature, faces growing threats from pollution, overfishing, and the looming impacts of climate change. The geopolitical tensions that simmer beneath the surface, fueled by historical grievances and competition for resources, add another layer of complexity to the challenges facing this region. Yet amidst these challenges lies hope. The Sea of Japan also presents a unique opportunity for cooperation and shared stewardship. Recognizing their interconnectedness and shared fate, the nations bordering this sea have a vested interest in working together to address transboundary environmental problems, promote sustainable fishing practices, and find common ground on issues of maritime security. By embracing dialogue, building trust, and prioritizing the long-term health of this vital ecosystem, the nations of the Sea of Japan can chart a course toward a more sustainable and prosperous future for generations to come. The fate of the Sea of Japan, much like the oceans that connect us all, rests on our collective responsibility to act as stewards of our planet, recognizing that the choices we make today will determine the legacy we leave for future generations.